All right, welcome to a Sunday evening show. Um, hang on for a second. Hank, we'll get to that question in a little bit. Um, but I don't have a personal update. Any of you guys have an update on the Illinois defensive tackle?
Just that he's still a possibility.
Okay.
Conan or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, guys. It's Sunday evening. Again, we're doing another broadcast. We'll end up with the portal talk because, let's face it, this is in the last couple of years. This has been one of the most exciting parts about the football season. Is the portal talk and coaching hiring.
Yeah.
And all the winning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Alrighty.
Consistency.
Yeah. Average over 9 wins a season for 11 years. So you got to mention the winning.
Yeah,
So.
consistency. Yeah, 100%.
All right, so we're going to take care of business. If you haven't hit the smash or like button yet, go ahead. I mean, the subscribe button and the like button. Go ahead and do it now. And so, yeah, and we got 615 followers, guys. Thank you. You guys are really coming through. Let's go and let's get this shared out and get some more followers of the show. So yeah, perfect, guys. All right. So Hink says Iowa's done a great job in the portal. So far, we got 11.
We got. They
Actually,
said
there's probably 12. One to be named later, I think.
And we got a punter that ain't on that list, but we don't know.
Yeah,
I think we know who he is, but
yeah, he's number 12. To be named later, but apparently we have him. I'm going to guess it might be the Aussie guy down under that you sent earlier.
I think it's the kid from Simpson, and then we'll try to get a kid from Australia, but I don't know. Okay. All I know is to start out the show, people please donate to the Swarm. They say we've got 95% of the portal kit guys that we wanted.
That's pretty good.
So yeah. It's Tyler Barnes, Kirk, and the coaches, and Beth Getz, and Brad Heinrichs. We got to give thanks to them people, so.
Yeah, make sure you guys try that Swarm beer and, for all those liking the beer there,
Buy a Vanami shirt from the Nil store,
Very nicely done.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And also, speaking of from the NIL store, Hannah's mom was on Facebook today, posting a link to where that you could buy Hannah gear and actually win Hannah gear as well. And she said, and let me know that you did it because I have a hookup on signing. Being kind of funny about it.
It's amazing how many football players and stuff at Iowa, they get this NIL stuff and then they donate it to, feeding kids.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Iowa's a different place,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But anyway.
Oops, I got the wrong score up. Hang on for a second. I screwed up. We're going to go start with the women first. Okay, guys, as you guys know, Iowa won today, and as soon as I could figure out what's going on, somehow the men's stuff all popped up when I did this. I didn't want to do it that way. But okay, we're just going to do this first. As you guys who are regulars of the show, remember Molly Tideback, who last year was my co-host for all women's games, and we would only do women's games when she was on the show, and she had a lot of inside knowledge and everything. And so during the game today, she and I texted. I tried real hard to get her to come on tonight. She's just not ready yet. She's still trying to get healed from her knee surgery. And so, but I wanted to talk about you guys. Okay. Alrighty. So it just started out that I told her I sent her a link for tonight, and are you watching the game tonight? We'd like you to be on the podcast for 15, 20 minutes to give your take on the game. The first thing she said, this was during the game itself. She says, "I'm sorry, but Deal's game is not transferring to the college level, and when Iowa has only scored 4 points in the first quarter. This is horrible." You know, she said. So I asked her about that. I says, "Do you think something's going on behind closed doors? Because this doesn't feel like the Iowa team that we normally watch and love. Something just seems off in this first quarter." And she said, "It's the portal, the pressure, the reason Lisa Bluter retired. But Jen is in the same boat. No matter what, her morals are the same in the same era. It's hard. That's why Saban retired. Like when Chit Chat got injured, her dad was on the floor. That would have not happened even when we were in high school. It's a different era now. It's crazy, and the entitlement is undeniable." And I asked her to add her thoughts, and then she gave me permission to add her thoughts. There's more. She says that because of the portal thing, they can leave at any time, so she has to watch herself and what she says and how she coaches, how hard she is on them, or our blanks asses, as she put it, would have been by C. Vivian Stringer back in the day if we had a first quarter like Iowa just did. Bet that didn't happen. So she's thinking that they probably didn't get ripped the way Vivian would have laid into them. In case anybody doesn't know, Molly Tyback played on Vivian Stringer's teams back in the 80s, and she was on the Final Four team that Vivian had at Iowa. Okay. The only other Final Four besides the two that Caitlin Clark went to. Alrighty. And she just felt that this was controversial, just saying it's hard to just talk sports and be straight. It is what it is. She goes, she said that she admitted that if she came on, we'd probably get more views with her tonight.
To be honest, I would like to get her views on it. Just, hear her out.
Yeah. She'll be back on the show.
On
she's recuperating from knee surgery and it's just been hard for her. She's also a coach in her own right and coaches a couple of different teams and teaches high school. So she's a very busy person.
Yeah. Recovery and get well.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any comment on what she said because I haven't heard anything like that, and I'm not there at practice. So
yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah, for real. She goes, set it up for what you all think is going on, but I'm telling you, these coaches are handcuffed in the portal and the threat of players transferring. Okay.
One good thing about the portal, if you got a bad apple on the team, hell, you can go get a different player. It works both ways. I agree. I kind of think like Brett Bielema. He said this week, "I love the portal. I love this. I get to set my roster every year, and I think Kirk likes it too, and I think Jan likes it." But
right,
yeah,
good old Erie Prophetstown guy saying that. I like that.
All righty. Okay, on Emily Rodriguez, she says it's grades. She transferred thinking it would be easy, but grades still matter, and she may have been on academic probation for the semester and then didn't prove herself academically. It is what it is. They are still responsible to be eligible academically. Yep. It is what it is. People forget all about academics. NCAA doesn't play, and there's a ton behind the scenes that people just don't understand. Team rules, Iowa rules, NCAA rules. And then she just says, at the end of the game, she also was seeing all these comments on Facebook, and she said, these fans just need to calm down. Facebook is crazy. And then she just said, I knew they would come back. Never doubted that. It's just the start, and the veterans that are not stepping up. They have to step up when it comes to tournament play, or it'll be one and done. And that was her last text. So, guys, have any comments on what she had to say before we talk about the game?
I don't think Emily Rodriguez would be listed on the injury report through the legalities of the Big Ten and the university if it was academics. And
It
I don't
says out.
think
It doesn't say injury. It says out. If you go
What?
back and look at that thing that just says out. It
well
doesn't say injury.
as Tom Kakert has explained, if it's the availability report, if it is not about an injury, they're not on that availability report.
Okay.
You gotta listen to Kakert. Kakert knows his stuff.
Yeah. It's like Trey Thompson for the Iowa men is never listed as out, even though he's not playing the rest of the season because it has nothing to do with injury. Emily Rodriguez, if she didn't have an injury, she wouldn't be listed on the report.
Right. Makes sense.
Okay.
All I know is what I know. You know, that's the rules of the Big Ten availability report.
Okay.
So,
Alrighty, guys. So Iowa wins this game 56-53 over Indiana in a place, as was pointed out to me between the announcers and Calvin several times today, that Iowa's only won there once in the last 8 tries. Now they can say twice in the last 9 tries.
Iowa always has trouble shooting in that barn. It's Stremolo said in her interview before this during the week, she knew Coach Morin and everything, and she said the Indiana arena is just as steep. The seats are so steep, it's like almost scary to climb up there to your seat. And she said it, and all the players that have played there say it's a terrible. It's hard to get used to it when you come in there as a visiting team, the shooting background. So
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't know why it would make a difference, because it's just seats behind you, just like the seats behind you at any other arena.
Well, I think it's just the way it's built. It's like when
Right.
when players go play in a dome stadium, a lot of them don't shoot the same and stuff. But anyway,
Okay, so let's get on with it.
It could go also, like during high school, like when they go in the state of Iowa, they go to the Casey Center. So when you haven't been there in a very long time and your team goes to state for the first time for girls or boys basketball, it kind of gets you, kind of plays mind games a little bit. Like when Vets was still there, I never been to Vets. So in 2002, that was my first time going to Vets, and I was overwhelmed. Like it was just a big venue, And then, like I said, when you go into the Casey Center, I also know as the Wells Fargo Arena. Everybody else will, because I'm old school like that.
It's Wells Fargo, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. You get that. Like kids they start thinking in their head, "Holy crap, this is big! Like this is arena. Like this arena is huge." But you're playing the game of basketball. Just go play.
Yeah, and I realize that high school gymnasiums, you're usually having a basketball hoop with a wall behind you, so it's not like an arena. By the way,
Right.
I last time I looked, I believe Vets was still there. They haven't torn it down, have they?
I don't know.
No, they use Vets for events, and because it's always almost kind of connected to the Iowa Event Center.
Oh yeah, they got that little walkway between them now.
Yeah, they always use that walkway, and you know, so they use Vets quite a bit. So, which is good. I'm glad they need to keep that around.
Yeah, I watched arena football in that Vets. That is a cool place for football. There is absolutely no room in that thing for
I did that
arena
one time, yeah. And then they went into the Wells Fargo, watching the Barnstormers. That was interesting. That's just arena football is so different, but man, is it so fast paced and fun.
It is. It is. Too bad Iowa doesn't have a team anymore, do they?
Barnstormers do, and the Quad City Steamwheelers have a team as well. So,
okay, cool.
And they play each other.
All right, well, let's get back to this basketball game. Iowa comes back and shoots 35.6% for the game, 21 of 59. Indiana shoots barely better. 24-65 for 36.9%. We were 4 for 16 on 3-pointers for 25%. You were right. 2 for 15 or 2 for 19 on 3-pointers for Indiana, 10.5%. Free throws, a dismal 62%. Indiana shot 3 for 4 for 75%. Although, for Indiana being the home team, Iowa didn't hardly get any calls on them, which is crazy.
Indiana's just a 3-point shooting team normally.
Yep.
And anyway.
Yeah, well, they didn't do so good today on their only 2 of them.
Thank goodness, because we'd have got beat.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, we out-rebounded them 37-35. Speaking of that, they had like the 3 post players in there, and I think they were all foreigners. Now, did you guys catch that? I don't think any of them were Americans.
I don't know.
So. I didn't see that. But
it's just like, when is basketball coming to? Like we talk about Illinois later on, and they have a complete pro, national teams members from all those guys they recruited. I mean, I know Iowa has the same ability to do that, and we do have one foreign guy on our team. But by golly, anyway, we gotta move on. Okay, 10 assists compared to a 7, 6 blocks compared to 1, 10 steals compared to 4, 10 turnovers compared to their 13, points in the paint, 36 to our 28, and only 10 personal fouls compared to their 17.
Yeah, 3 of the 17 fouls for Indiana were called on one girl just in the first quarter.
Yeah, I know it.
That was interesting.
Oh, it was very interesting. So,
okay,
I'm ready. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
But
I had some stuff here.
The Iowa girls battled back. Pretty much behind Hannah's fight. Rebounding and defense, and McCabe and Kylie Feuerbach and Chit Chat and Ava couldn't shoot it worth a darn today, but she started rebounding in the second half. First half she had like 1 or 2 rebounds, and I think she ended up with 8. But we just battled back.
Right. You got to think about this. If you're not shooting the ball, get a rebound, box out.
She wasn't doing it. She wasn't doing it in the first half. I texted Dean, and I said Hannah, Journey, and McCabe were the only rebounders in the first half that had more than 2. And
well, let's talk about that, okay? Hannah Stokey had 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 12 points. A double-double. Okay. Ava Hayden had 9 rebounds, 2 points, and 13 points. 13 points, 2 assists. Wright had 1 rebound, 3 assists, 13 points. McCabe only 6 points. But, her average was 9. She's not shooting the ball well at all. I think she's just hurrying it up. When she gets it, it looks like she's just chucking it up there instead of shooting it.
Well, she hit her first 2 threes, but they took them away.
The one I
was
saw.
On a foul. One was on a foul, and the other one said she traveled. I didn't think she traveled, but whatever.
Yeah, you can tell that Jan shortened up her bench today. Strimolo with 3. Hayes only played 3 minutes and no stats. Kylie played 20 minutes and just 5 points. Deal played only 6 minutes and no points. Houston played 17 minutes. She had 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 4 points. Nobody else got in the game. So she played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players.
9 players?
Yeah, 9 players.
I don't think anybody fouled out for us, did they? I don't think so.
No, nobody fouled out.
It wasn't
I mean,
a big
we weren't
foul.
really ever in foul trouble because I noticed the one thing that Jen was doing during the game is she was taking them out of the game and rotating them around quite a bit. I think she was
Smart.
doing that to kind of avoid fouls and frustration.
And
Like at the beginning of the game,
Nebraska does not attack Nebraska. Indiana does not attack the basket. You know, they're not a real physical team. They're not a real good defensive team. You know,
Aren't they
and so
pretty young out there,
I don't
too?
think Indiana probably didn't have a ton of fouls, but
Yeah, I think Indiana's pretty young too.
they said they were pretty young. Yeah,
Yeah, I heard that.
so are we.
Mm,
I think we're
we're
the
just more
youngest in the
physical.
nation, aren't we? Aren't that we the
I don't-
at least the youngest in the Big Ten?
I don't know about the nation, but what do we got? I don't know, 9 or 10 sophomores and freshmen. It's like ridiculous. So.
Yeah. So I
Be
mean,
like our football team next year. So
yeah. Now, something that we want to go over is just kind of look at the schedule coming up because, man, that was tough. I tried to take a picture off TV so I wouldn't have to look it up, and guess what? They don't keep it up long enough for you to take a picture of it.
We got Oregon at home.
Yeah, we got Oregon at home this week on Thursday.
And then after that, I don't remember.
On the 18th, which is Sunday, Michigan State. So we get both of those at home. Well, if we're going to play Michigan State, I'm glad we get them at home. They took us down last year. Hopefully we take them down this year. Then we have to go to Maryland. This might be our first. If we can get past those other two games, which I know they're going to be tough, but if we can win those two, Maryland might be our first loss. I don't know.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly, but I think Oregon might have been the team that was ahead of Michigan State today. I think they're playing right now or something.
Okay. Alrighty. And then of
Michigan
course we got
State's a very good team.
Then we got Ohio State at home, at USC, at UCLA. Guys, they could lose all those games very easily.
At the West Coast? Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a better shot of beating USC than we do UCLA, but last year we beat UCLA, so you never know what can happen. But we don't have Caitlin Clark crowd or Caitlin Clark in the house for the USC game.
No, we don't.
I can't, guys. I made a mistake. I meant to say we beat USC last year, but we did not beat UCLA. But it was a close game. Yeah. All right. Also,
USC's got they got a girl that's kind of like Juju, but man, she can go off anytime.
Jersey Robinson, or
that's
she's the number one recruit in the nation last year. So
yeah, she can play.
Who's that? Who are you talking about? I missed it.
Jersey Robinson for USC. A lot of people thought the girl that went to Oklahoma was number one, but Jersey Robinson showed him in the Nike All-Star, McDonald All-American game or whatever, that Jersey's the real deal. So.
Yeah. If they got her and then if Juju comes back, look out. USC will be loaded.
Yeah. I think Juju's college career is over. So
yeah.
She was
a hell of a player. Yeah. I have a lot of respect for Juju.
I would think she'd have to come back next year. I thought it was after her. I think
she's a year. She was an older player.
Okay,
so
that's what I'm saying. As long as she's 22, she can go when she's 22. Okay, guys, let me run down.
All I know is I keep reading that this Juju won't play college again, but
yeah,
I don't know for sure.
All righty, guys. So let me read down real quick. Kelvin sent me this. I think these are all final scores on women's basketball. A lot of upsets today, but Michigan State did win over Oregon, 85-81.
Well, we know
Ohio State beat Maryland, 89-76. So. This is going to be killer league. Michigan did beat Wisconsin. Minnesota upset USC by 1 point. Purdue upset Washington by 6 points. So, wow, guys, nothing's going to be taken for granted. Northwestern beat Rutgers, which that doesn't surprise me. And Illinois took down Penn State today. They're also a very good team.
I just say Illinois is one of the sleeper teams in the Big Ten for Iowa women for the women's basketball.
Yeah,
I agree.
The Big Ten this year, I think, is USC
Loaded.
UCLA up on top. Probably nobody will touch them for the championship, and then you got about 10 or 12 good teams below them, and they're all fighting out for position. So
right.
Yeah. Okay. So this is probably before we move on to the men's. Let's take a mention real quick. A future Hawkeye, McKenna Wolicozko, who had a game or a tournament game this weekend yesterday, which was anybody could have got it. It was on Walter Mitty TV or whatever they call it. It was streamed live. They did lose the game, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Double overtime.
Yeah.
Dang.
They're the 5th ranked team in the nation, and the other team was the number 1 ranked team in the nation.
Do you remember McKenna's stats from yesterday?
She had like 24 points and 13 rebounds. She didn't play as many minutes as if she was, if she wouldn't have been injured. She's trying to work her way back.
Right.
Pretty good for a girl working her way back, right? Those kind of stats.
And then, of course, the opposing team has the number 1 high school player in the country. She's just a junior. She scored 50 points. And I was recruiting her. And what's the name of the assistant coach that represented Iowa?
Angela Bassett.
It ain't Angela. Lysandra.
Okay, so Cassandra Bassett or Sandra Bassett,
Barrett
like
or
that. Barrett
or Bassett.
Bassett.
Anyway, she was at the game. She was at the game. I'm sure recruiting everybody in the game.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Well,
you gotta have some talent.
That's her job. That's her job.
Right.
By the way, she scored 50 points, but what was the final score?
I don't know, 89 to 88 or.
Okay.
I don't know. I think going into the second overtime, the score was in the 80s. I don't know. Did you guys watch any of it?
I did not. I did
not.
I was actually up in the Quad Cities watching the Iowa-Illinois girls shootout at Morton Fieldhouse.
Yeah. Okay. When that game was on, I was at a soccer game.
I watched parts of it, but I was bored with it, but Wolicozko's just a tremendous gazelle of an athlete at 6'2". She has terrible guards on her team. If they would have had average guards on that team, they'd have won. Wolicozko, I don't see any holes in her game except one, and she's extremely thin. She is not going to take. Hannah Stolke would put her in the seats. Yeah. I'd like to see her play the 3 position instead of the 4 at Iowa, but that ain't going to happen. But
right.
she's kind of built like a Utah or something. And Utah would struggle if he was played real physically, and that's what the other team's going to do to her.
Right.
We're just going to have to game plan for that,
Right.
But she can shoot the 3-pointer, she can shoot the 18-footer, the 15-footer, the 12-footer, she can shoot all the footers. Put it that way.
With Molly's comments about, deals, when you become a freshman in college, you got to learn what they're teaching you and not from your high school career. Yeah, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle shooting. You're going to struggle, the practices. I have learned with Iowa coaches that I know, and if you're struggling shooting the ball, keep shooting the ball. Mm-hmm. It's going to go in regardless.
Yeah,
I think Deal's issue is I think she feels like she's playing against those high school kids again that she used to dominate. because some of those twisting moves and
Right,
layups that
right.
she tries to get, and they get slapped back at her. I think what she's got to know is she's got to learn what can she do that she can do this, and probably get a little stronger. But I mean, I'm high on the girl. I think she'll be just fine.
Yeah, she'll be
I mean,
just fine.
I think her game is not translating, as Molly said, to the college level yet, but it will.
It will. You got to give these freshmen time. They have to learn the system.
It took Ava to the Big Ten tournament last year to get it figured out.
Right. Yeah.
You know, who knows? We could have another thing with. Yeah. We might have another thing with. Yeah. Go ahead.
Historically at Iowa, we've had very few, Caitlin's the exception. We've had very few players that played good as freshmen.
Right. Yeah.
The best thing about a freshman, as Al McGuire would say, is they become a sophomore.
Yeah.
And
by the way,
the thing that Addie has that will always translate is she's got a silky smooth shot.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's a 10-footer or a 3-pointer. And I think she'll be fine. Time will tell, because I don't know the future. But hey, if you go back and look at Mana Ciznano and Kate Martin as freshmen, you'd have never thought they'd ever amounted to a hill of beans. You know? So.
Yeah. Well, Kate Martin actually, as a freshman, didn't play because she had a knee or something going on that year.
It took Kate Martin about 3 years to, really be a player.
Yeah. Well, and it helped her final. It helped that her final 2 years that she had Caitlin Clark setting her up. Because Caitlin Clark made Monica Sonano, made Addison, whatever her name was. She made Gabby, she made Caitlin, and she even made Warnock when she was there. She made everybody around her better, and look what it did for Kate. It got Kate into the pros, and she's playing in the Unrivaled League. By the way, as a teammate of Paige Becker's, I can't wait to watch that duel.
She's so good.
But the girls, which you'll see in these freshmen, Ava Hayden's changed her body since last year. Layla Hayes will look different next year. Addie Dew will look different. Kate Martin and Ciznano. They went in the weight room and they went to training.
They went to work.
Ciznano was kind of a fat girl, to begin with, and by the time she was a sophomore, junior, she could really run the floor.
She did a great job of it. Yeah, I mean,
she had good moves underneath the basket. She was very.
She could just barely make a 2-footer when she came to Iowa, and by the time she left, she'd hit that shot from the free throw line.
Right.
That's what they call what they used to call last year Hannah Stuckey a rim runner, and she could do it without that ball ever touching the floor.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not gonna give up on any young player.
No, I'm
not either. I'm not either. But the thing is Journey Houston is I'm really shocked. I really thought she'd be buried on the bench this year, and she is not.
I'm not.
She's actually proven herself, and the fact that if you would have told me at the beginning of the year that Journey Houston was going to get more minutes than Addie Deal, I would have said no way. I think people had Addie Deal penciled in as a starter. Guess what?
Journey Houston was a local girl here where I am, but nobody would ever. I would have never dreamed that she was getting more minutes than Addie Deal.
The thing is, with Journey,
so
Journey Houston is Downport North product, and Journey is she's scrappy. She gets the offensive rebounds. She makes a lot of people better when she is on the court. I think she's got more confidence than these other girls, to be honest. And honestly, that's where it starts. Freshman, soft, it all starts here.
Yeah.
Like she's playing, what everybody else has got to think about.
And then she kind of surprised me too down here, because the last 2 years of her high school, she wasn't healthy.
Which sucks.
Hurt her knee, and her senior year, she kind of got in shape by the last half of her senior year. But anyway,
and that is what her old high school coach, her former high school coach, Paul Rucker, said, like, she's just a hell of an athlete, and watching her sister play, I think Journey was a way better player than her sister was.
Who'd your sister play for?
She used to play for Iowa, and then she committed to Iowa, and then
she retired.
Yeah, had some stuff going on.
She was kind of depressed mentally, and wanted to time out as far as athletics, and she did so.
Right, both the Houston girls were both very athletic, Can shoot the ball, get to the rim, pull up on those 18-foot jumpers, distribute. She did very well. Both of them did. And I said, I love watching Journey, just the way she hustles. She's kind of quiet. She lets the game come to her.
But to get back to the point, the key is all these freshmen and sophomores on that Iowa girls team. Just be patient.
Yeah,
and time will tell. We don't need to be burying them.
No, one game at a time, one shot at a time, one play at a time.
Well, you guys got to remember too. Last year, Strimlow and Mulaney and Ava were all freshmen, and
struggling.
Even Callie Levine all struggled with the minutes they got. But last year, Levine only got garbage minutes. This year, she's getting some meaningful minutes, but not a lot. But I think a lot of people who have seen they're impressed that they can tell that she's improved her game, and her passing is second to none.
Yeah.
Her passing is second to none. But look at Strimlow's in the starting lineup right now because Kylie was, coming back from an injury, and before that she was covering for Chit Chat. Strimlow has come a long ways, but she struggled last year too. Now I don't know what's going on with Mulaney this year because Mulaney was much better last year than she is this year, and I don't know how she got buried so far down the bench. But
the thing is.
And then we
guys
are you on, dude?
I hit hitting some buttons here.
And then we mentioned
you have to let the game come to you.
Yeah,
you have to. And with like we've been talking about with these freshmen, they got to let the game come to them, and you got to have confidence in yourself, knowing that hey, I got recruited here to the University of Iowa for a reason. I need to go and show up. Now, to prepare for that, hit the gym. Hit shots in the gym. Practice. We all know that practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
They got to keep shooting the ball.
My advice to fans is leave these girls alone. Just let them play. We don't need to put too much pressure on them when they're young like this, and just let them play and tell them we support them. So,
dang it, Calvin, you didn't send me the men's final stats. You only sent the halftime.
Well, I thought I sent them to you, but it doesn't. The only people that shot worth a darn for the Iowa men today. Of course, everybody knows they were all sick, but the three, I think like three guys played off the bench and all of them shot real good. It's like Tavian Banks was the sickest one. He'd lost 8 pounds in 2 days.
Actually, 10. It was 10.
And he was puking in the locker room. He was puking in the locker room afterwards. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Are you okay, Kyle? Kyle's having.
He probably got a log back in. But anyway, and Tavian Banks was puking in the locker room afterwards, and he's the guy that by far had the best game offensively. Him and your favorite player, and then Tate Sage all shot good off the bench.
Banks, Sage, Sturtz 12 points, which is a bad game for him. Koch had 10 points. Figueres had 8 points. I mean, we were pretty well balanced in through there. Combs only 3, Manuel only 0 with 8 minutes, so he was probably sick too. But I wanted to tell you, that I did go listen to. Oh, I got to bring him back in. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Sorry, Calvin. I totally missed what you were saying. I am so sorry. Now I feel bad.
Yeah. Well, we're just
we were
talking
just
about the
going
men
over
and
the
everything.
stats of the man.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I did listen to McCollum's. When I was doing some housework, I put on McCollum's press conference post game show, and he did say it was 10 pounds, not 8. On Banks.
I apologize for being off.
Well,
But-
you know, was it last week? I was throwing up really bad all night one night. I got up the next day to weigh myself, and I'd only lost 2.5 pounds. And I go, all that for 2.5 pounds? Come on, I can do better than that.
What's the name of your favorite player, Dean?
Isaiah Howard.
He had a good game shooting. So
He always does, though. He always shoots well, but he only played 12 minutes. So I mean, if he's doing good,
maybe he was sick too. I don't know. Who knows?
Are you guys all frozen on me again?
I'm not.
I'm good.
Oh.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I mean,
You're
if you think,
All
if
right.
you think about it,
We
our
are
stats
struggling with.
pretty. Yeah, our stats are like very similar to Illinois, but Illinois just they wanted it more. I think it was the effort.
I think we played influenza defense. That was the worst defense we played all year, and I think it had to do.
Yeah.
Tavian Banks
Worst
is a
defense
really
we've
good
had.
defensive player, and he couldn't guard anybody on the perimeter today. They just go right by him.
What's going
I
on?
just know it had to be illness,
Right.
you know.
The thing is, it's
Guys, keep talking. I gotta go make sure we're still on the internet.
Yeah,
And we're still going good.
Yeah, we're still going good. I hit the wrong button because my daughter is at 4-H and she had to do a presentation, so she was trying to send it to me. So I was in a couple buttons that I was like, oh, okay. So I'll see it when I get done with here. So
All right.
Yeah. But I got something interesting to tell Dean when he gets back. I got something interesting to tell you that you're back, Dean.
Okay, go ahead.
The player that was the freshman for Illinois, the good point guard Wagler, who was so good.
He was very impressive. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, and he'll be in the NBA next year. He was very few teams were recruiting him. And Sturt said that he visited, nobody wanted him, and Ben had found him and he visited Drake. And then finally Illinois offered him, so he went to Illinois, but he could be on the Iowa team. You know, Ben is so good at finding guys that nobody wants.
right.
You know. And
That is an interesting story. That is really interesting.
yeah. Yeah.
Patriot Stojakovic, his son, he can play. He can
Yeah.
ball it just like his dad did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know anything about his dad. Is he an NBA player
His dad
or
was
was?
an NBA player for the, I think, Sacramento Kings when they
That's
had,
right.
I think, Chris Webber, I think Jason Williams, and Vlade Divac. I think he was maybe part of that team, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let me go down some of these stats. We did lose 75-69. I don't remember how far we trailed, but we did
18.
come back and we pulled within 4 and had
Biggest
a chance
lead
to
was
pull
18.
within 2.
Right. Biggest lead was 18, Dean.
Yeah. So we had a chance to make it within 2. That could have made the difference in the game right there.
Right. I mean, but they missed a lot of bunnies at the rim.
That's what
You know.
Ben was saying today in his press conference. He said they missed 2 easy layups and a dunk.
You got it. And if you're going to dunk it, make sure you make it.
Yeah.
I hate these guys that are going up for dunks and they miss it.
Yeah.
It's just like that's a missed opportunity and a missed possession of the ball. You could have just laid it in. You know, it has to all come down to like fundamentals. Lay the ball in.
And again, you know, when Tavian Banks missed the dunk and everything, again, these kids are playing sick.
Right.
You know,
right.
today. So it can all, your legs are not going to feel the same when you got the flu.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I know people say that some people say that's an excuse, but it is not an excuse.
It's not.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
if we have a perfect example of that, look at Michael Jordan when he had the sick game at Utah in the
Yeah.
NBA Finals. But that's the NBA. But look what he did.
Yeah, great
Now,
game.
Yep, exactly. So things can happen. when
Ballers
you're
come to
sick, but I
ball, whether
agree
they're
with
sick or
everybody.
not.
Right.
But
Yeah, I
everybody's
agree.
affected differently by being sick. Some people are
Yeah.
just like it knocks them out.
Mhm.
But let's just go over some of the team stats real quick.
Yep.
We each made they made 28 of 57. We made 27 of 66. We ended up with a 40.9% shooting. They 49.1 was theirs. They were 10 for 28 on 3-pointers. A lot of them made that by that little kid and that 7-footer.
That little kid.
That would be like 35, 36%.
36%.
It was
And we shot
35.7.
31%.
We did 9 for 29 and 31%.
Oh,
Free throws, we were 100%, but we only went to the line 6 times, 6 for 6. Well, I
Yeah.
mean 3 times, 6 for 6. 9 of 11 for them, and so they had 81, which is pretty good anyway. That'll win you a lot of games.
mhm.
Rebounds, we were out rebounded 34 to 28. We had 19 assists. They had 15. They had 4 block shots, 7 steals. We had 2 blocks and 5 steals.
8 turnovers, though. That's not bad for Iowa. I'll take
No, I was
that.
going to say 8 turnovers is all
Right.
compared to their 12.
And with
I mean, we
Calvin
could-
saying that everybody was sick, man, if we had 8 turnovers, boom, we should be winning that game.
We
Yeah,
have
but
we have a,
again-
we have about the best turnover team in the country. We don't turn the ball over much.
Right. They're
But
smart.
Tom Kakert, my favorite journalist in Iowa, like he
Love Tom.
said, we were like 80% through the second half,
Right.
and he goes, they've blown the whistle on Illinois twice. He said, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
When
Very
guys go
ridiculous.
in for layups and they get knocked down and there's no call.
Yeah, because they got 11 personal fouls against them. We had 14. I mean, honestly, that's not a big discouraging thing,
No.
but it just seems like how do teams guard? Like my question is, and this is the same with the way Indiana was guarding Iowa in the women's game. How can teams guard so tight like that and never get called? It just seems like if you're a taller player, you get the advantage because there's no way a taller player is going to ever foul a small player. And that's why I think they always give the advantage to the taller players. And in the Big Ten, I always think the referees always give the advantage to the teams that are definitely going to make some noise in the NCAA, like, Illinois, Michigan State, Michigan this year. I think, it's just going to be hard to get calls against those teams. I mean,
it depends. I mean, you're probably right. It probably depends on the team. Maybe when Molly comes back, fully recovered or partially covered, she can answer that question. When you're at home, most of the time your calls would go, against the other team because you're getting that home court advantage or home field advantage, regardless of which sport it is. But again, you got to play the game.
And this is Ben McCollum's first year in the Big Ten. We aren't going to give the other team the Tom Izzo treatment.
No.
When you play Tom Izzo, every time he looks at the referee, they pee their pants. So, anyway.
So speaking of the Izzo treatment, Izzo, they always calls it the Izzo effect. But we always felt like that the referees didn't like McCaffrey and they were always going against him, just to get at him and stuff, and make him mad. But as mad as a reputation as he had, one of the podcasts I listened to, and I listened to so many this past week, I don't know which one said that McCaffrey really didn't blow up as much as he would have last year, and that the referees didn't really, go after him the way we all think they did. Does that make sense to what I just said?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the deal. I learned from his wife, Margaret, that a good source was telling me that Margaret was a lot, of course she was at the games, most of the games. She got kicked out quite a few arenas just
Margaret did?
just for chirping at the refs when they left for halftime.
That is very true. And Margaret would yell at her own husband.
Oh,
so.
Because I have one of my dad's cousins was the team doctor on the Notre Dame football team, and he knew McCaffrey when Fran was a grad assistant at Notre Dame, along with Margaret, who also scored 1,000 points over 1,000 points at Notre Dame. He told me all of that. I'm like, you know what? I would agree to that. And I got to sit with Margaret a couple times. She knows the game. I mean, she's right there with them.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bleeping foul, and it was awesome. But you got the insight.
Poor friend.
She's the Molly Tideback of Notre Dame.
Yeah. It was awesome to hear. Margaret and how she's got basketball in her. She's very passionate, and I love that.
Poor Fran. He must get an earful from his wife when he gets home from a game.
I don't know. So. I'm sure they love each other and all that.
I'm sure they do.
Fran's a good.
Fran's team last year got so banged up and injured. When your top three players are injured, that was a bad year. But
okay,
anyway.
Guys. All right, before we move on to football, okay, I want to ask each one of you, after seeing the expectations this week of the men and the women's team, have your expectations changed of either the men or the women's in the Big Ten standings where you kind of thought they might end up with? And so,
yeah,
go ahead, Kyle.
I'd pick the both teams to finish fourth, as you know. In the Big Ten, which I thought would be kind of miraculous for the men. After losing 2 games this week, I think the flu had a lot to do with it. I have to temper. Yep. I thought they'd split this week at least. I actually thought they'd sweep it.
I thought they would too, to be honest with you. And they could have.
And they came very close to. They came very close to doing it, even being safe. Yeah, so that's my answer. So,
I was just going to say on the men's front, if they had not got off to slow starts in both games, they would have won both games going away.
Yeah, when you struggle either on the road or even at home shooting the ball and you get behind by a lot, it's hard to come back. But when you can kind of just chip away, But to be honest, you play who's on your schedule, regardless of who's in the standings. You play the game, plain and simple.
All righty. So, Kyle, why don't you give me what you think? What you think of after? I believe we're 2-2 in conference for the men and 5-0 for the women.
Hey, we've got 3 losses. 3 losses.
Oh, 3 losses. Yeah, we're 2-3 in conference. We got a losing record in conference right now.
I mean, it's McCollum's first year, but the guy can coach and can recruit. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have 4 national titles for nothing. So everybody just got to calm down, take it one game at a time. And with Jan, I like this group. I really do. They fight. And so do the boys. I mean, I love the men too because they fight. And we have to take it one game at a time. But also watch film, learn what they need to do different. And if the shot's not falling, keep shooting the ball. Pass. Make a good cut to the basket. Make an assist. Rebound. Well, do the fundamentals. Yeah. And I'll probably, hopefully Molly can agree with me. It's the fundamentals. It's laying it in correctly, not missing a dunk on the men's side, hitting the open player. You don't ever see a ball fake that much anymore. You don't, and like the officials, you don't see 3-second calls in the lane very often. even in high school or in college.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys ever seen that or haven't, or been to high school games lately or in college ever seen a 3-second call. You don't see that anymore.
I don't think the way basketball's played anymore, where everybody's out at the 3-point line.
Yep.
I don't think people stay in the lane that long.
No.
Except Audie Crooks, but anyway.
And she gets away with it because she's
Nah,
Audie.
she's pretty good at really staying out of the lane. I was just teasing Iowa State fans. So,
Yeah.
by the way,
By the
Iowa
way-
State lost again today.
So how many losses in Big 12 are they now? Or
I don't know. I think they've lost like 3 in a row or something. I'm not sure. But they shouldn't have lost to West Virginia today. Here's
a little thing about Bill Finley, and I have a lot of respect for Iowa State because my brother went to Iowa State. But as we all say down here, born a Hawk, always a Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I sat with him and the assistant coaches one time at the girls' state tournament, and he was just giving me a bunch of crap. And such a nice guy. He can light a fire under those girls and get them back to where they need to be.
Of course.
It's Bill Finley. You don't mess around with Finley. Can you understand him at the time? He's always had that raspy voice.
Yeah.
And he always kids around saying, hey, you're wearing the wrong colors. I go, hey, I respect you, but not when they're playing the Hawks. I'm sorry. And he starts laughing and chucking, and super nice guy.
Speaking of coaches from Iowa State, when I first moved back to Iowa in the year 2000, at my job, I went to take a lunch break. But at my lunch break, because of the time I started, would be like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I go into this little tiny restaurant. There in the corner is Johnny Orr in the corner.
That'd be cool.
And some other coaches. I don't know who they were at the time. I wish I had the guts to go up and talk to them, but they would be there every time I went there to eat lunch or breakfast, really. They were there. Mm-hmm. They were there. And so I just wish if that would be today with this podcast, I'd be having those guys interviewed on the podcast.
Yeah, they're when you meet coaches like that, or for another example, after an Iowa game, I had to get gas before I headed back to the Quad Cities. Coach Ferentz pulls in, nonchalantly getting gas, and then so I say, hey, good game, coach. And then he goes, okay. He goes, honestly, what did you think of it? And I was being blunt and honest with him.
He said that wrong?
Yeah. And he goes, huh? I mean, you're not wrong. And when I told him, and he goes, I agree with what you were saying. Like, we had a couple plays that we shouldn't have done. He turned to me and goes, well, that's not my call. So I thought, but again, Iowa, regardless if you're UNI or Iowa State or Iowa, everybody's got class.
Yeah.
I've heard that around the states, people saying that. You can always disagree, but Iowa fans, Iowa State fans, UNI fans, we all have class. We all respect. That's why we have the Wave. That's why the Wave is the #1 college tradition in the States.
Everybody, including Vanderbilt, did it at the bowl game.
If you're an opposing team coming to Kinnick and you do the Wave, that shows a lot of class.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to put out tonight over the air is, if there's anybody out there listening or they review this, can somebody please find out for me where Jan and Coach Stamp went to watch recruits play yesterday? We know our top recruiting assistant was at the Wolicozko's game, so I just want that thrown out there. If somebody can please find out, I would like to know. But
okay, all righty, so let's move on to football. Oh, I was going to tell you guys, I didn't really say about the women or the men. I think I had the women at 12-6, right? I think I'm still there. No, I'm sorry. That was the men I had at 12-6.
You had 11-7, didn't you? For women?
For women, no, because they play 18 games. No, all right. So I got it. It is 12-6 for the women because it's 18 games. Okay. And I think I had the men.
I'm sorry.
I think I had the men like 9-10 or something like that, 10-10 or something.
Okay.
I was not as high on them as everybody else. But I want to give credit to where credit's due on the men's team. I might even think about upping my game with them a little bit because they showed me today what they've gone through the last 2 games, being sick the way they have been,
They just
and the
fight.
gut and the fight. It's just too bad it was poor timing during these
Right.
games. If they can get themselves healthy, they might upset a few teams, and I'm sure they will throughout the
for
course
sure.
here. So this, because honestly, when I saw this game on the schedule a couple of weeks ago, I thought we would sweep both these games. Even though Illinois was having a good season and was ranked, I just felt that we would stop them. We would finally be this time we would win, and we didn't. We lost both those games. So I need 2 games from games that later on in the season that they probably wouldn't normally win, like Michigan or something.
Well, we ain't gonna beat Michigan, I don't think. Even though Michigan, I think, lost last night. Or
They did against Wisconsin. Wisconsin in the second half just went off on threes. My daughter and I were getting Subway in Davenport before we went to Wharton Fieldhouse, and we were just watching the game. They had the game on TV. They hit 4 possessions. They hit 4 threes. So then Michigan came down, tried to answer, and they answered a couple times. But man, when you hit 4 threes and a couple, all 4 possessions, that's a switch around.
Yeah, when I picked the Big Ten standings for men, I put Wisconsin way higher than I thought they would be, because I just said Greg Gard always gets his team playing during the Big Ten season. He always does.
Right. And look at Bo Ryan did the same thing when he was at Wisconsin.
Yeah, they always finished among the top. Okay, all right, we're gonna move on to football. Unless you guys
I got a question. Can I ask a question to you guys?
Yeah.
Just to get it out of the way.
Uh-oh.
Who are you guys picking in the championship college game? Oregon and Miami.
You mean Miami and Indiana?
Oh, did I say something besides Indiana?
I was going to say that would be cool, because if that were the case, I would pick Miami because Oregon's not going to show up.
Right.
I'm picking Indiana.
Okay. Oh, so I said Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay. My
I'm gonna
darn
pick Indiana.
my chemo brain.
I'm gonna pick
so
Indiana
Indiana, Miami.
Ooh.
Indiana.
You got to think about this. Indiana was the worst college football team, wins and losses, coming into was it 23 before Signetti got there?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So Indiana has not been relevant since, now they're relevant because of their coach.
Yeah. No, get this. I wanted to point this out. This is what I wanted to say, and I forgot to write it down. I'm glad you reminded me of this. By the way, Jason says hello, fellas, and he picks Indiana. But Indiana was the overall worst football team in America. Okay.
That's what Kyle just said.
No, but I want to take this one step further.
Oh.
They have a chance to do something in this next game that no other football team in America has ever done. That's to win 16 college games.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's this day and age, like we say, if we're right when our good segment going in, this next segment about the transfer portal. Look what the transfer portal can do. Look what Indiana's at. But on the flip side, Miami is Miami. And we all know about, the convicts versus, when they always played Notre Dame, how dirty Miami can play. But we found out that Miami has Carson Beck. They got one hell of a defense. Could it be a defensive-minded game? I don't know. It's like,
I think if Miami stays within 2 touchdowns, we ought to give them a cookie. Right. That's what I think. That's how good Indiana's playing. So.
Indiana just destroyed Oregon. I mean, God dang! That game was over in the first quarter.
And I think Oregon would beat Miami. I think Oregon's a much better overall team.
Yeah.
Than Miami is.
The thing is, it's just Miami has got almost a home field advantage because they're playing at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of a home field advantage, but I just hate picking
Guess
these
what?
games because
Guess what?
I always jinx it.
Yeah. Guess what? The Hoosier fans aren't used to this. They're going to travel.
No,
They have
no.
not had an opportunity to cheer like this in years. They're going to travel.
I don't think Signetti. I don't think the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. I don't think Mendoza. I don't think Surratt care that it's playing at Miami.
Right.
You know, they got Dan Marino at quarterback. I don't think they care. You know, it's like
right. I mean, you're not.
So
you're
are
not
you
wrong.
Are you picking Miami, Kyle? You didn't make a pick.
No. And like I said earlier, if I pick a team, 95% I have jinxed it. So if I really had to
pick Miami
with the bang,
pick Miami.
I'm going Indiana. I'll stick with the Big Ten. And
I will tell you this.
In my I did a couple brackets. I did not pick Indiana to go all the way. I thought I picked Texas Tech because of their offensively they're really, really good. Defensively they're okay.
Defense wins.
Yeah. But then I also picked Ohio State, coming off winning the title, everybody, but it's Ohio State. And I try to pick the Big Ten. So let's let Indiana have their first national title in college football.
Yeah.
Indiana and Mendoza are playing like Burrow's LSU team did. I don't think anybody's going to beat them. But.
I don't think so either.
Alrighty. Okay. We're going to move on.
Yep.
Before we get to the portal, we want to talk about Iowa had two former football players become the 15th and 16th All-Pros during the Kirk Ferentz era. Okay.
That's
Cooper
really
DeJean
something.
And Jack Campbell. Okay. Wow. Jack Campbell. Yeah. God, you knew the minute he stepped off our Iowa field, we were going to miss that guy.
Yeah.
I think he could have come back for one more year, if I'm not mistaken.
But I think he'll come back for a lot of years for Detroit. So boy, he sure stepped up his game from last year to play like an All-Pro. So
and then
it's just that confidence. It's that confidence. He knows that he can go out and tackle. But he plays it the right way.
Yeah. The little sad thing about it is that I guess the 49ers beat Eagles today, so I guess we're not going to have a chance to watch Coop anymore this season. But and I would have been okay with Kittle being hurt, not playing the rest of the season. Shoot, I would have been okay watching the Eagles and the 49ers staying home because I only watch for Kittle.
Right. I mean, I'm an Iowa fan through and through, but me being a Kansas City Chiefs fan, since 2001, I cannot stand the Eagles or the Buffalo Bills. It's their fans.
Because they're the ones that beat you in the Super Bowl twice.
Well, but the thing is, when Buffalo and Kansas City meet in the playoffs, Buffalo's 0-4. Stats don't lie. Trust me.
Dean knows me. I'm kind of a different type of human being. I've been a Chief fan. I've been a Chief fan ever since the first Super Bowl. That's when I became a Chief fan. I was like 4 years old sitting there watching it.
Kyle,
truly, it doesn't bother me when my Chiefs lose a Super Bowl. I'm so laid back. I'm kind of weird, So no, I don't hate the Eagles. The only team in pro football I used to hate was when the Chiefs played the Raiders. But anyway, no, I don't hate the Eagles. I like to watch good football.
Right. For sure.
And usually the team that wins the Super Bowl is the team that deserves it. When Tampa Bay beat the Chiefs, they really deserved it,
For sure.
Well, I told Kyle this early. Kyle, I was just going to say, I told you earlier when we talked that that I said during the Super Bowl last year. I said when Eagles were destroying the Chiefs, I said, you guys, you are witnessing the downfall of the Chiefs. They are done.
Yep.
They are not making the playoffs next year. I don't know what sidetracked them in that game, and I don't know what sidetracked them in this season. You know, and I kind of joked to you, said maybe too much Taylor Swift.
The only time the Chiefs and Mahomes have lost in the Super Bowl is when their offensive line got obliterated, and they didn't have an offensive line this year either. I would expect in the NFL, they got the 9th pick in the draft this year. You know, I hope they do not pick Caden Proctor. Please, God, do not pick a guy that can't pass block. Please, Andy Reid, do not pick him unless you're going to stick him at guard. Stick him at guard. We'll run right behind him all the time. That's fine.
Right.
But the Chiefs will rebuild that offensive line.
Maybe they'll draft our 3 guys going in this year. Maybe they'll draft all 3 of them and have.
Yeah,
I know that's not going to happen, but
I would be happy with that. But they're not going to pick any of them at the 9th pick.
No,
you know, they might get him in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round.
Right.
You know, or something like that. Pick some big rush.
Right.
Pick Mr. Bain from the Miami Hurricanes as our defensive end or something. But anyway.
All right, let's move on, guys.
The one thing I wanted to say about that all-pro list.
Yeah, I was going to name off the pros.
They were 2 first-time all-pro guys, so they made the list. Did you say the 16 guys?
Yeah,
Dean?
There's 16 total. So let me read off the others.
What I wanted to point out was if you go down all the lists, which Dean's going to do, none of them, the only 2 that were great big recruits out of high school was Aaron Campman, way back he was probably Hayden's about last year or something, and the other one's Wirfs. The rest of the guys,
from Mount Vernon.
A guy like Cooper DeJean, when Iowa got him to commit, he was like 2-star.
Yeah.
By the time he got to Iowa, the recruiting publications made him a 4-star because Kirk had offered him and signed him and all that shit. But I'm just saying, Campman and Wirfs and Campman, and the rest of them like Scherf and them, no. Go ahead, Dean.
Okay. All right. Well, the others are Tristan Wirfs, as you already mentioned, for Tampa Bay. T.J. Hawkinson for Detroit. George Kittle for San Francisco. Desmond King for the L.A. Chargers. Mike Daniels for Green Bay. Micah Hyde for Buffalo. Brandon Sheriff for Washington. Tight end Dallas Clark of Indianapolis. Chad Greenway from Minnesota. Aaron Campton from Green Bay. Nate Kading from San Diego. Sam Laporta from Detroit. Bob Sanders from Indianapolis. And Marshall Yanda for Baltimore.
Speaking of Bob Sanders, when I first started working at the Hy-Vee store in Davenport, I recognized the guy that walked in. I knew who he was, and I had my Iowa hat on, and he goes, "Hey, nice hat." I go, "Hey, I know who you are." And behind that, Bob Sanders is like wife or cousins, or some of them are from Davenport.
Really?
So yeah. So Bob walked in. I'm like, "I know who you are." He goes, "Okay, who am I?" I go, "Well, you were Defensive Player of the Year for Iowa. You played for the Colts with Peyton Manning, Pat Anger, and you got a ring with Peyton." And he goes, "All right, you got me. Who am I?" I go, "Bob Sanders." He goes, "How in the hell did you know that?" I go, "Well, you're about 5'9", 5'10". Your biceps are twice as big as mine, or 3 times as big as mine. Your tattoos all over both of your arms, and your dreadlocks."
Mm-hmm.
We sat and talked for a good 15 minutes. And the one point that I got out of most of that was, he said, "When I got to Iowa, I learned how to tackle correctly. But when I got to the NFL, I got cocky. The money was coming in." And then I said, "Well, look at all your concussions." He goes, "Exactly." He goes, "I got cocky, started tackling with my head, and that's what, led me to retirement early because of, the concussions he had."
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So,
cool.
Yeah, Bob Sanders, he's awesome. Super nice guy.
Yeah. All righty, guys. Let's go. Finally, let's get to the portal talk. Okay.
Hate it. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
it's
Well, it is. It's here to stay. It's not going
I
anywhere.
know, and
We
I
need
know,
to use
and
it.
I understand that.
We either have 11 or 12 players. 11 officially, 12, because we've been told that we have a punter. He hasn't been named yet, and so I'm sure that they got to work out some
Right.
details yet.
Right.
But we got 11 names to go over. So
Yes, we do. Well, the latest one. Gosh, I didn't even have him written down at first.
the last one was Evan James, the wide receiver from Furman.
Yeah, Furman. He was All-American FCS player, 5'11", 170 pounds, 65 catches, 796 yards.
With 3 years left to go, and the kid never drops a pass.
Yeah.
Just great hands. So,
and he's listed as the number 11 wide receiver in the portal. So that's a pretty good get, I would say. Going back to the other newbies.
He's got to prove it. He's got to prove it.
Go with your next guy, Dean.
Okay, Xavier Stiles, a safety from Robert Morris. He's listed as the number 54th safety in the portal, and he is a 3-star career star person. That's all I've got on him right now. Do you have anything else on him? Either one of you?
He's also got 3 years left from Philip Morris.
Mm-hmm.
Or Robert Morris.
Robert Morris, yeah.
Robert Morris. Philip Morris is a cigarette or cigar or
That's
something.
right. So, well, let's light him up tonight because we got Mr. Stiles. He's got 3 years left. 6'2". He's like a combination defensive back. But I watched his tape today, and I looked at his On3 put out this great article about him, and they gave the PFF scores. This kid, his coverage grade is like 90 something.
Really? That's pretty good.
I mean,
and I watched him play. Let me finish. I watched him play, and he looks like a tall Desmond King.
Ooh.
He has this, the way he stands, the way he covers a guy, his attitude is like he knows he's good. I know the other defensive backs we got are really good too, but he's my favorite. I don't care.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
All right, we got LJ Phillips, number 50 running back out of the portal, 5'9", 225 pounds. He's out of South Dakota. This is interesting. It says the NI value for him is $300K. You think we paid him that much? I'm not saying, by the way, people, that we paid him that much. That's what his profile said he was worth.
Yeah, I don't think them profiles are accurate, but I would think any kid he's going to be a junior, and Iowa prorates it by what class you're in.
Right.
I would think anybody at Iowa that's a junior is going to be making close to 200,000. I would think. I don't know, but I have no clue about that. I just know that he's a good, fast, catches the ball good, and he's built like a bowling ball.
Yeah. And then there's Tony Diaz, a wide receiver, 205 pounds from Texas Rio Grande. That's all information I have on him. Do you guys either one of you have anything more?
He's a sophomore, so he's got 3 years left. He's going to be a sophomore. They call him the boogeyman, and because they said he scares defensive backs like that. Now, watching the tapes, I watch the tapes on all these guys, and I know he's the guy that all the fans crazy about because Alabama was after him, and he's probably way better. He's probably way better than his tape shows, but he'd be like, just watching tape, he'd be the least one that impressed me.
Yeah.
And he'll probably be the best one because I'm no expert, but I looked up his track speed. His track speed in high school wasn't good, but he only ran track when he was a sophomore, so he probably physically matured and did a lot better after that. Do you have some comments on him, Kyle? Or
I don't think so. What I heard was he was interested in Indiana or had a visit, but I thought he was gonna take that visit to Alabama and then commit with Bama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We beat
But
out
that was the
Penn
latest I
State
heard,
for
but-
somebody. We
well,
beat
that's
out
the
Penn State for
running back came down to Penn State and Iowa, and he told On Three. They have these great write-ups. He told On Three. He said the reason I come to Iowa was the culture, the family. They welcomed me in. All the players welcomed me in like a family. And he said, Kirk Ferentz. He said, I want to play for that Hall of Fame coach like that. So
Cool.
I got
Alrighty.
goosebumps when you said that, Calvin. That's when someone mentions like we were talking earlier. If you say Kirk Ferentz, and people want to play for him, Pat Anger always, say, he wouldn't play for anybody else but Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah. You will find very, very few, and they won't admit it anyway, players that will ever knock Kirk publicly.
Right. Oh, 100%.
They all love him. They all love him. They do.
Kirk's the only head coach at Iowa I've ever met and talked to in person.
He's super nice.
And Kirk is just like talking to a next door neighbor.
Yeah.
That he's that's just the way he is.
Yeah.
I can tell you one thing. I did not have a conversation with Hayden Fry, but he had a conversation with me. I was on the field. I was on the field for the Big Ten game against Iowa, Indiana, and I was doing press coverage for KWWL. I had the little film camera back in the day, right. I almost got ran over by an Indiana receiver who was coming down the field on a long catch. Who took the ball for the distance, and I'm going, turning around right away, and Hayden Fry just said, son, if you don't want to get run over, you might want to step back a little bit, because I was right on the line when he caught that ball.
But you got to think, I always heard about, Hayden, him and Ferentz, it's that sense of humor, and it's very dry, and people don't get it sometimes. But apparently, when Hayden had, oh man, I heard stories from my one of my best friends that's going to be in my wedding here in July. He was telling me that his uncle heard Hayden tell all these jokes at these iClub meetings, and he told you how it was, and so does Ferentz. And Ferentz has got that. He's got that soft side, and I love that. I love that passion that he has for his players, besides his own kids and former players. They always called and say, "Hey, advice. Who'd they go to?" Coach Ferentz.
If people haven't read it, it's an old book now. But if they haven't read the book by Hayden Fry on his biography, it's called Front Porch Picnic. That is a really good book.
Send that to me. I'll have to order that.
Okay, yeah.
Order his book.
I think I still have the copy somewhere.
I checked it out. I checked it out of our small town Mechanicsville, Iowa library and read it. But I don't have a copy of it, but he tells a lot of stories in there. I don't know if they're all true, but
he has he just has you laughing.
I think they're true. But
I mean, you got to think Hayden had, like I said, he had that sense of humor. But do you think he drank? Going back and forth to these games? Hell yeah, he did. You knew Hayden. He was full of stories.
Yeah.
Just like when Dolph said, right. Yeah. And Dolph said that him and Polak, Polak drinking there. And even Dolph said at an iClub meeting or iClub thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we sit there, we drink beer, we just have the time of our lives."
Yeah, I don't think Hayden was very much of a drinker, but
no, but apparently I heard he was quite the storyteller, and then I guess he did have a few drinks. It got more interesting by the minute.
Yeah.
No.
You got the next portal guy, Dean.
Yes. Now this was my personal favorite. Tyler Brown, safety number 32 in the portal out of James Madison University. And they also list this. They didn't list this for everybody. His NI value is $315K. So I
Yeah,
thought, but this is my personal favorite.
Yeah, again, I don't think them NIL values.
Mhm.
A lot of times they're going to be higher than what they're listed.
Yeah,
You know,
and so and then
because that kid was in demand.
yeah,
You know, from James Madison, an All-American. He's not the tallest guy in the world, but he carries himself around. He ain't like Bobby Sanders, but he carries himself around like Bobby Sanders. You know, Bobby Sanders was, I mean, the most built guy you ever seen.
Yeah, small
in your
guy
life.
built like a
He's
brick
got,
house.
and he's going to be a junior.
yeah, and so this takes away the sting of Cone Ettinger leaving. By the way, I'm not going to repeat it because I talked to Chad Lysico and he doesn't think it's correct. But there was another rumor about why he really left going around, and I won't repeat it. But it wasn't had anything to do with money. But Chad Lysico says it's every bit about the money. And he said that the coaches, when he talked to the coaches, they were caught off guard. They did not see this coming.
No, it was a surprise. It was a surprise, mostly because he announced that he was. When he told the coaches he was walking through senior day, they thought, But then when he announced that he was coming back, you know, they thought, oh, we don't have to worry. But I think what Iowa decided was we're going to sign 3 defensive backs for what he wanted for 1.
Mm-hmm. And you got to think about this. I just want to see the production on the field. With these guys coming in, they got to show me something, or they got to show everybody that's an Iowa fan something on this field. If we're going to give out this kind of money nowadays, I miss the old school, recruiting, and now it's all about the money, and it just
Well, safeties are DBs. Could they be Could they actually be cornerbacks too?
Yeah, that's what I said about Styles. I said he's a combination defensive back, and that the first one we got from Villanova named Hawkins. He's 6'3".
That guy's gonna be a stud.
He's 6'3", 195, and people that seen him when he visited said he's a real 6'3". You know, that's a Merton Hanks type guy. Merton Hanks played safety or cornerback at Iowa, but this Hawkins kid, he can play both, and he's a sophomore. I don't know if Dean was ready to talk about him or not, but anyway,
I will. I was going to talk about Hawkins, but the 5 guys which he was one of them, didn't have any stats on, but I listed them because I wanted to go over some things about them. But the next one we had since we last had our podcast was Lance Ingold, an edge rusher, number 105 out of Northern Illinois. And I don't have any information on him.
Yeah, he's like some people say 6'5", some people say 6'6". He was weighing 250 at one point. They say he weighs 270 now. And he looks like Tarzan, without his pads on. He looks like Van Ness. I don't know if you remember Van Ness when he played at Iowa. No fat on him, and he's another kid that is just gonna be a sophomore.
Cool.
You know, these guys just got it. Like I said, they come into Iowa like if they're like a 2 or 3 star kid and become stars. That's what Iowa does. Regardless of where you're going, you came from,
and that's what Northern Illinois does too, and that's where he's coming from. We've gotten some awful good players that were either committed to Northern Illinois and come to Iowa, like the 2 Neiman boys, and Jack Heflin, who's playing for the Rams.
Did something just happen on your TV screen because you just got?
No, I just pointed up at the TV because you're gonna watch the Rams play. Heflin don't get into games, but he's been on the Rams for 5 years. As a defensive lineman.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. So this is what I wanted to break these down. Okay. So far, we've got one kicker, and Eli Ozik, Zach. I don't know. They were even pronouncing it on the podcast differently. We got 3 safeties. You already mentioned Anthony Hawkins, and then we have Tyler Brown and Xavier Stiles. We have 2 defensive ends, Lance Ingold and Kamari Brown. Defensive tackle and Bryce Stevenson. A running back and L.J. Phillips. 2 wide receivers and Evan James and Tony Diaz. And I know that everybody thought we should get 2 wide receivers. Will this improve our, in your opinion, guys? Will this improve our wide receiver room that badly needs to be improved, or are they about the same what we had because we're losing Phillips and Gill? And I'm just wondering if this is, if they any better or any worse than what we had.
I wouldn't know, but I know that they're similar to Seth Anderson coming to Iowa from the portal. Seth Anderson was a very good wide receiver, but Seth Anderson was never healthy at Iowa for 3 years. You gotta keep your fingers crossed that these guys, as far as the 2 wide receivers, that they stay healthy. And nobody knows the future. We just know that, hey, Alabama wanted this one guy, And anyway,
I did forget to mention we got an O-line person in Trent Wilson.
Yeah, he's going to be a sophomore also from James Madison, and UCLA wanted him, and he was a freshman All-American, as a freshman. So,
with Vanderzee coming back, whoop! I just hit the wrong button. Hold on. Let me go. There we go. I keep hitting stuff here. So it's Vanderzee, and then who's the other wide receiver that's coming back?
Dayton Howard,
Parker, and Dayton Howard for sure.
Dayton Howard, and then maybe Bowie will miss the whole season. Bowie was showing off a little bit a year ago, and then this year he had some type of soft orthopedic injury to his legs that he didn't practice in the spring, and he never practiced at all, maybe till bowl practice, and he's coming back. He's a big guy. He's a big guy like Vanderzee and Howard,
I like Vanderzee. I think he's going to become a star. The catches that he makes, it's the effort that he goes and gets it. That's what he just tiptoes along the sideline. I'm like, wow. His ability to go up and get the ball and know where to place his feet in bounds. So I think he's going to be a stud.
That Vanderzee is going to be a real stud. I just love because the last few games he played, he made some impossible catches that I haven't seen an Iowa wide receiver. I can't even remember the last time I saw Iowa wide receivers make catches like that. But I'm excited about our tight end room next year. My God.
But Vanderzee might be, I'm trying to be balanced, Vanderzee might be the best NFL prospect Kirk's had at wide receiver. Kevin Casper's the best NFL wide receiver that Kirk's had. He was a walk-on.
Well, fortunately for Iowa, he has to wait till his junior year, so we get him for one more year, at least, minimum.
Well, I ain't saying he's going to go pro after next year. I'm just saying Iowa hasn't had good NFL prospects at wide receiver.
Right, I agree.
Period. Hayden never had good NFL prospects at wide receiver.
Unless you count Ronnie Harmon.
Ronnie Harmon was a running back, but he was the best wide receiver Iowa's ever had. Because that's how great a player Ronnie Harmon was, but he's a wide receiver, a running back. Quinn Early's the NFL, the guy that played in the NFL. Him and Dane and Hughes played in the NFL, but most, as far as starring, nobody.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Tim Dwight got a couple of those, but he didn't line up as a wide receiver because he was a punt returner and kickoff returner.
Kind of similar to Charlie Jones and this year, Wet Jet.
My
Yeah,
goodness.
Tim was
And
Tim was
we
a
get his
better.
brother.
And Tim. I think had a better receiving career in the NFL than Charlie
Yeah.
Jones or Wet Jet will have. You know, he's.
You
I think
know-
he's a
there's
cut
any doubt about
as
that.
far as a wide receiver. I think he's a cut above them.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yep. I think about and with Weegan, his brother's coming, and so is Cooper DeJean's brother's coming too. I'm excited to watch those.
I did
two
not know
together.
Weegan's brother was coming. Really?
I think I read somewhere that he's coming, or
Was he like a
he's
27
very
class?
interested.
Marvin McNutt said in a podcast that he's coming to Iowa, but I found out afterwards that Marvin didn't know what he was talking about.
Right. I read that Weegan's brother is very interested in Iowa.
Okay, what year? What
he's
year is it? 27, 28,
Yeah, I think-
29?
He's graduating this year.
Okay,
Yeah,
so he hasn't made a commitment to anybody yet. Then at
Yeah,
20,
I asked his mom, and she goes, "Gosh,
I hope so.
I'm surprised." She goes, "I'm surprised, but I hope so." Like,
Right,
she'd
yeah.
love to. She'd love to have a free education at Iowa, but I don't think it's
and
happening.
then Cooper's brother, I think he plays wide receiver, is what I
Tight
saw in
end.
the videos.
Tight end.
Yeah.
We watched him play yesterday in the All-American game on TV
Ah,
at
my
NBC.
goodness.
Yeah,
did he
he's-
show out
goodness.
for you? Did he show out?
Oh, he's all right. He'll be a really good tight end. Who knows? He may be as good as Vanami or better. But people were saying he plays wide receiver in high school, and anybody that's watched him play wide receiver, he is no Cooper DeJean. He's
Right,
not near.
right.
He's way bigger. He's like 6'5", and he can't run. He can't run
No.
near as fast or quick or jump like Cooper. You know, but I'm not running him down. He might be an All-American tight end. I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there
the
we go.
thing is, our tight end room is kind of loaded.
It is very loaded.
Cooper's brother, Jax DeJean, needs the Iowa coaches yelling at him every play. And that's what they're going to have. Light a fire.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe they convert him from tight end to linebacker or something like that.
No, he's going to be a tight end. So
Okay.
If you're
Alrighty.
6'5",
Yeah.
yeah, throw him
Question
the ball.
question I want to throw out to you guys. Do you guys think we answered all of our needs? I mean, we do have a punter. We don't know who he is, so we did answer that part.
the answer is no.
Okay, what do you think we need? That's why my next question is, what do you think we need?
We know we need two punters.
Mhm.
Brad Heinrich says we got one. You know, we need
Okay.
two punters. We need a long snapper we haven't gotten yet.
Mhm.
And I think we're going to get the defensive lineman from Illinois yet. I think.
Okay. So
And
are we
I
going
think-
after
I
an
think that
offensive
would-
lineman?
No,
Okay.
no.
We got what we want. Okay.
So I think there's four people. You know, we got an unnamed punter. I don't know if you want me to count him or not, but if I count
Count him.
the
Count him.
unnamed punter that is committed, whoever he is, with him in there, we got four more people we're going to get, I think.
Yeah. And now, you did say that, didn't you say that Illinois guy was going to make a commitment today? The one that's from Illinois that.
No.
I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know.
I don't know when
Okay.
it's going to happen, if it's going to happen even.
If it's good, if
If we don't get another defensive lineman, maybe it's no big deal. I don't know. But
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for more, you got to go into I think it's a 24/7 sports with recruiting wise,
Mm-hmm.
and see and actually
Right.
look for the guys that are actually committed from that list and not the transfer portal list,
Mm-hmm.
and we can kind of compare. Okay, what do we need?
Mm-hmm.
I just know that the guys that we're trying to get, other than the Australian punter, who I seen a highlight of him, and Tyler Barnes is following him. He's got 4 years left, so he's actually a high school guy. But
Yeah,
I
they
think
said he's on a
whoever-
transfer
whoever-
portal. He's a He's
Yeah,
a
he's a
high
high
school guy.
school kid, like getting restaken was. But and we'd like to get him fast so he can be here in January and
Right.
practice in the spring. But
And they give him
anyway,
some
what I was
football.
going to say, I kind of think we don't know everything, but I
No.
kind of think whoever we're going to get has probably either visited already or about to visit. You
Right.
know.
Well, and the
Right.
key thing too is we got to remember is I think classes start this week or next week, and they've got to be on campus and enrolled because they've got to figure out classes. They've got to figure out living arrangements.
I think they start around the 20th.
Okay,
that'd
so
be
that's
10
another week.
days.
Yeah.
And then
So-
what is it? The transfer portal is like done like the 26th or 23rd or something like
No,
that.
the transfer
16th.
portal the transfer portal window closes on Friday.
Friday.
It
I
does,
knew it
but-
was in this month.
But
too,
people
I didn't
can
know what
go.
day.
That's when they got to enter it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have till the rest of their lifetime to enroll in
Right.
another college. But
Yeah, but how many of those kids that are in there, like 3,000 kids, are actually going to find a new home?
probably about 1,500.
Have
No, I'm
to
starting
be.
to see people who are pulling themselves out and going back to the original school, especially the quarterback who was getting sued by Oregon.
No, that was
He's
not
going
Oregon,
back
that
to
was
Oregon.
Washington.
You're going back
What's
to
that?
Washington.
Washington, that's what I meant.
Washington.
Washington, yeah.
Wow. And that,
No,
again, I think, they need agents. Every university needs to have an agent, or because this portal system it's nuts.
Yeah.
And
And what
it's
about
stupid.
Sam Levitt? Has he found a home yet? We know he's rumored to go to LSU, but nothing's official.
Man, nothing.
No, I
You
don't
know,
know.
I try to concentrate on the Iowa guys. You
Yeah,
know,
I
of course.
do too, but it's
Yeah.
interesting to
Yeah.
see nationally what's going on.
Oh, we haven't mentioned that Brian Allen went to Vanderbilt today.
Oh yeah, that was on my list to mention, but I forgot it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt. I guess they must have liked what little bit they saw of him in the
Oh,
Vanderbilt.
I bet our friend, which will go unnamed, I bet he's pissed off because he thought the Iowa players weren't as good as the Vanderbilt players. Now he's
Listen to
getting
him.
one.
That was fun. I learned a lot. And like I said, I am going down to. We're going to my future wife and I. We're going to go honeymoon. We're going to go to Georgia. So we were going to stop in Nashville. So that's why I was asking him all those questions, because I have never been there, but my future wife has. She has been there. So I mean, grew up on country music. I'm excited to go to that, but excited to go to Georgia and go to the College Football Hall of Fame. That is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
The future home of Kirk Ferentz. So.
Yeah. Hey, by the
I
way,
hope so.
Kyle, when we leave the show, don't forget to hit that follow button on there, that subscribe button. I need to add you as a subscriber. And
Will do.
yeah. And I also want to tell other people, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it, and also go to the Facebook page, Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports by the same name on Facebook, and follow that. We share a lot of stories up there and commentary, and so yeah.
We didn't forget anything. We didn't forget anything else tonight, did we, Dean?
No, we covered a lot of ground. I think this is a good place to end it. We're going on an hour and 45 minutes.
There you go. There you go.
Guys, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for coming on, Kyle.
Anytime you guys need.
Okay,
holler.
you got it. You got it, buddy.
Thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome. All righty. This was a fun show, guys. I think it was very informative. We kept a steady pace of people all night, but now they're starting to fall off because they know we're going off. All righty, guys.
I definitely want to be on again just to hear Molly's, what she thinks, and get that other input that actually was on a Final Four team and knows her shit.
She knows her
I like
shit.
that. I like.
And she was
I like
coached,
that game
and she was coached by Vivian Stringer. So I think that's also worth mentioning.
I heard she was a fiery son of a gun. But she can hell of a coach.
She just said, she told me that her assistant coach who we had on here,
Angie Lee
was telling stories about making Molly. Molly was on that interview of making Molly run the bleachers or the stadium.
When you had Angie Lee on that night. I told I told
was
Dean,
that?
please get her on again. She was so good with
I want to
Molly.
listen to this. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Her podcast
you
has
can go
had to
back. You
suck.
can go back to my YouTube channel and
Yeah.
just go through. And they're all listed. It'll say Angie
Right.
Lee. There's even
Okay.
Molly's very first interview, which led to us her doing the
Uh-oh.
shows more. But the first one was just a normal interview. Asked her on
Right.
because we have a history going back, and so I asked her on, and so you'll learn
We
about that
also
history by watching that particular one.
we also had Final Four member for Iowa, Steve Crafson, on, and we had him on when Ben was hired because he recruited Ben McCollum out of high school and coached him in college. That was a good show too.
Wow,
So,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
That's
if you
interesting
guys,
to know.
anybody who wants to watch any of those interviews, just search through my 300 or 400 plus videos that are in my
and
channel. They're there.
you
They're
can't-
clearly marked.
I bet if you couldn't find it, Kyle,
Right.
you talk to Dean now. I bet Dean could share it
I
to
can
you.
link.
or something.
I could find it and link it to you. I'll send it to
Yeah,
you.
I just I like doing these podcasts, and I do I got to do the podcast for the Minneapolis boys and girls basketball team now, and I did the softball and baseball as well. So I mean, I got the gift of gab. Might as well kind of talk about
You did.
what I know
The-
and also learn from you guys, because you guys have done
Yeah.
these podcasts for years. So I'm kind of learning from
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
I'm
and
pretty
also,
I'm pretty much a newbie, Kyle. I am not a veteran. Dean
Kyle-
Right.
Kyle, the
Dean
big
drugged
thing
me
is-
into this. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Kyle, the big thing is when you and I talked this afternoon, the first thing I thought of when we got done, I go, between you, Kelvin, and Jason, I'm not going to have to say anything tonight. The question would be you guys talking with each other.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We're going to get
Let's-
out of here. Yeah, you got one more thing to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's hang it up, kids.
Okay. Kyle has one other thing to say. Final
Yep.
parting words from you.
Definitely follow Off the Air with Matt Rendazzo. He used to work for News Channel 8, and I interned with him when I was in high school. And he gets Jess Settles. He gets Tim DeWhite. Like, he gets these, he lives in Illinois. Big Iowa fan. Huge Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah, I know he does. He gets a lot of great guests on. He has a great show. Maybe you
I
could
share-
talk him.
I share-
You know
I
him
share
personally.
his-
Maybe you could talk him into coming on our show, and we'll interview the
I-
interviewer.
I share him daily to
Yes, you do.
Dean and everybody else.
He's
if
awesome.
he's having an interesting guest on, which he does about every show.
He does.
Yeah.
When he has Gary and Pat on there, and Pat Anger is always on there almost every Monday. So
Mhm.
give Pat a shout out. Pat's a good dude. Just comes from a really good family. But there's a backstory on Pat Anger. When he first got to Iowa, Gary said at a iClub meeting that he screwed up pronouncing his last name wrong. And then they got done with the game. Pat Anger's mom and dad were walking up the steps, met Gary, and says, "Hey, it's Angerer, not Anger." And
Yeah.
yeah, and Pat's parents they got a nice little chuckle after that. So, and Gary has not pronounced it wrong ever since. So I had to throw that out there.
But since you got connections there, maybe you can help us get some of those guys on the show.
I will definitely talk to Matt. So I'm hoping to be on his this year. So
cool. All right,
And he has cakered on 2-3 times a week.
Rob,
If Tom
Caker,
tells you something about
listen,
Entringer, whatever, you can go to the bank.
yeah.
So-
Alrighty, guys.
Tom Caker, Scott, list of all those guys that they know. They know the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
Anyway.
we'll get out of
Know the
here,
shit.
and anybody who hasn't already, Corey's probably
Yeah.
still on his broadcast. You can go watch
Have a
it.
good week, guys.
Okay. Take
Thank
care,
you
guys.
again. Go
Yeah.
Hawks.
You bet.